Hello, welcome to Holy Babble today, where I express my thoughts and opinions on cultural and religious doctrine. I took my sign down because I thought it was just too many prints and colors going on, and I saw myself like, oh, that's too much, so took the little flag down today, so we'll do without the flag today. But today's topic is bling. You can't take it with you, or can you? Hopefully I'm not upside down. My camera's been acting kind of funny, so hopefully I don't come upside down. If not, just switch your camera around. But that's our topic, bling, you can't take it with you. So I always imagine the early Bible days to be very humble beginnings, right? I thought all they had was just basically material and dirt, right? Even though having cotton anything says a lot about how much they were able to do, how much they learned to do from scratch. Because everything was, of course, was homemade back then. But just making clothes out of cotton, you don't just go to Michael's or Joann's and say, give me 4 or 5, yards. This stuff they had to really, cut the sheets, I forgot what they call it, shave the sheep's wool and all that stuff and process the cotton. It's a process for real. So the fact they came that far was amazing at that time. And so the movie The 10 Commandments, y'all might remember that from, I think we actually saw it in the 80s, but I think it came out in the 60s or something like that, maybe the 60s, 70s, with Charlton Heston. But the 10 Commandments gave us some kind of idea of what life might have been like back then. But when I saw the books, and especially National Geographic, that did a spread on the Egyptians, a lot of y'all may have seen that in some kind of format or another, but mainly finding King Tut's tomb, I was really kind of blown away just seeing just how much they did and just the work that went into how much stuff they did. And so if you've never looked at King Tut's tomb and just all the stuff they found, that's basically the tomb is basically his grave site. And all the stuff they found, I think in the 30s, 20s, 30s, it's been a while back, and sometimes they'll even tour the world with all the stuff in the tomb. And stuff. But I never imagined that people were balling basically like that in the Bible days. You're just like, really? That's how they were rolling? And so it almost looked as if those days, I almost imagine those days to be kind of like a Little House on the Prairie. Kind of very simple, humble beginnings. Yet these people had, mad skills. There was some serious craftsmanship going on that still basically captures the world's attention to this day. As much as we can do today, people still look back and say, wow, you did all that by hand and whatnot, through little tools they had, handmade tools, so forth. But remember, these people are in Africa, okay? A lot of times people act like Africa's really a poor place. Yes, it is still a poor country, but it shouldn't be. There's a lot of riches to be had in Africa. And of course, plenty of people know this too. Even though they kind of make us feel like Africa's a piece of crap country where they're actually looting, from Africa to this day. But it's a place that holds some of the most richest natural resources in the world, and is still being basically, like I said, assaulted for those resources. Hence the movie Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio. About where diamonds come from, what happens, how people get those diamonds. But these Egyptian kings and queens were balling before there was even a word, right? They were putting Elizabeth Taylor, the Queen of England, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, whatever he's going by nowadays. They would put all of them to shame, okay? Their stuff ain't crap compared to what these folks were rolling out back in those, thousands of years ago, whatnot. But it's not only astounding what they were able to create, but how those things were able to be preserved. Sometimes I wish, God, can you take a note for the Egyptians? How come we can't find half of y'all stuff? I think we got the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some people claim they found the Ark, but not. But God, those people the Egyptians can tell you what kind of drawers they had on, what they had for breakfast. We got all their information in them tombs. I mean, the kind of bowl they ate at, their favorite spoon, all their stuff is preserved very well in those tombs. So I wish we could have had. We could have baby Jesus' manger preserved had they done it right. But anywho, one second. But anyway, I couldn't imagine how seeing such lavishness and riches, such grandeur, up in your face when you're trying to live your life in a kind of modest and a humble way, the way Jesus was. Jesus was a very humble, very modest person. And so if you're a woman, and I'm sure even a man too, you see these shiny, sparkling jewels kind of hitting you in the face. You're like, you know, and cut in your eyes. So, sorry. And as if I think is Israelites, that those are God's people. I think Israelites. I hope I'm not getting that name right, but I think the Israelites or Canaanites. But I want to say it's Israelites. So how do you not maybe kind of say, can I just get one little bling? Because back then there was some large jewels, so this might have been small back then. So can I just get one little bling? That's all, just one. And so imagine your little boy is coming to you and saying, "Mommy, how come I can't wear a cool outfit like the King Tut has, right?" And the mom's going, "You don't like your sheet robe? You got a problem with your sheet robe? Oh, you too good to wear your sheet robe I made you now?" So anyway, basically the boy's like, he goes, "I'm sorry, Mom. Of course I love my sheet robe. I love my sheet robe. I don't mind wearing my sheet robe." And then the mom's basically like, "When you become king, you get a king's wardrobe, son. But you just have to imagine the scene. I mean, how do you not just get just a little bit, just want a little something pretty to wear, something pretty in your hair, your hand, and everything." So I can see how basically materialism might have taken over in the land of milk and honey. And how they started to worship the golden calf. That's when things kind of got out of hand, and God was about to basically, I think destroy the world right around that time, I think. But basically, people started worshiping materialism. And they had the golden calf and everything. The people were drinking a lot and whatnot, and lavishness kind of took over. But once you kind of realize where these people were at, as you get older, you really start to realize, you have the Egyptians. And sometimes, they never mentioned the boy King Tut in the Bible, but for a while you almost forget. You remember hearing Pharaoh, and you know that he's Egyptian, but you don't quite, for me, I didn't quite put King Tut, the boy king, until I got older. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the same, might have been his dad, that's the same family, oh yeah. Like, that's the same time, like, oh wow. But you realize where they're at in Africa, all those riches. You just start to think, when in Texas, you worship what? Oil and beef. But when in Africa, you might worship gold, rubies, onyx, amethyst, ivory, garnets, diamonds, basically bling. So you just kind of start seeing, gee, I got it. When you get older, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize at the time you're younger and you're hearing this stuff, it didn't quite sink in as much. But imagine your kid is out in the backyard and just making a mud pie, minding his own business, and he digs up a quartz or some type of gemstone, right? And so he runs to his mom and says, look, Mom, look what I found. And Mom's like, no. You go run and put that back, okay? I got you these beautiful plastic bracelets and rings from the 25-cent gumball machine, right? And the kid's looking at what she got, and he's like, one of these things don't belong together. He's like, I like what I got better, but I can imagine, a poor woman trying to attract the attention of a pharaoh, a king. With her looks, she's thinking, hey, I got it going on pretty good. Maybe I can kind of move up in the world, right? And she says to herself, I heard he was looking for a fifth wife, and if I show a little ankle, a little shoulder, the wink, and maybe I can move up in the pyramid, right? So imagine it works, okay? She's living her dream. She's got all the gemstones she wants. She's wearing beautiful dresses and gowns, whatnot, and living the fifth wife, Pharaoh's queen wife, whatever she is. I don't know if she's a queen exactly, but she's whatever his wife. So she's living the good life, right? Until what happens? Pharaoh dies suddenly of some mysterious unknown illness, right? And then what do they do? What do they do? The Egyptians did back in those days? They throw your behind, along with Pharaoh's other 4 wives, alive in the tomb, right? With the deceased king. It's not just like, oh, bless, honey, rest in peace. No, your butt's going in. You're going to rest in peace with Pharaoh. You, one of his wives, get your butt up in that tomb, right? So all I can say is, honey, enjoy all that bling, because apparently they believed you could take it with you. Okay, you gotta be careful. Sometimes the grass ain't always green on the other side, right? But that's messed up, though, sweet people. But they believe that's why it packed all that stuff into that tomb. Can you imagine being put into the grave? Instead of having a casket, you got your Mercedes, you got your gold watch, you got your flat screen TV, you got your, that's how the Egyptians, that's how they rolled. Yeah, all that stuff's coming with my butt. Yeah, bring it all. Get the U-Haul, pull it into the tomb. All my stuff's coming with me. All my wives, all my girlfriends, all my with stuff on the side, y'all coming with me too. So y'all come on it. So that's enjoy that bling. Cause like I say, yeah, you're going with them. So anyway, that was just a little fun with that one. That's something I thought about today. But thank you for watching.